Hey, it's Wendy.
And it's Jess, and you're listening to the Food Heaven Podcast,
your online resource for delicious and nutritious living.
Hello out there. Can anyone hear me? I think that's from a movie, but I can't remember which one. Anyways, hey guys, this is Wendy and Jess. You are listening to our very first episode of the Food Heaven Podcast.
Woo!
We are so excited, mainly because we live for podcasts, and make sure to send us all your favorite podcasts because we're always looking for new ones.
Yes.
But we are from Food Heaven Show. That was our YouTube channel that we did for about 4 years. There are tons of archives, youtube.com/Food Heaven Show, shameless plug, of healthy recipes, nutrition information, a bunch of fun. And we are transitioning all that over into this podcast.
Yeah, so Jess moved to sunny California about 1.5 years ago. And so I am from New York. I'm still living in New York.
From the Bronx.
Ow. So it's been pretty hard to keep this going since we're like on different time zones. A lot of you have hit us up, asking when are we going to get back into recording. Some of you have sent us really cool ideas for how to keep this going. So like Jess said, we love podcasts. We have all different types of podcasts that we listen to. So we thought, why not jump on the podcast train and do it with a nutrition twist? Because there's not really that many podcasts that we know of for nutrition and wellness. So we're jumping aboard. We're really excited to use this platform to bring you guys reliable nutrition information and, tips and tricks for healthy living, things that we live by.
We're also going to have some guests on the show, dietitians, fitness experts, and kind of get their take on how to make healthy living a little bit easier. We also want to focus on kind of what's new and hot in nutrition. So we think every episode we will highlight a different study or a different book or something in the news, and then give you our take on it as registered dietitians if we feel like it's something you should try out or maybe like pass it. So we're so happy that you guys are listening, and make sure to stay tuned for the rest of episode 1 and all the episodes to come.
We'll start off by sharing a little bit about who we are. We're both registered dietitians, which basically means that we went through very rigorous academic training to be
nutrition experts.
Yeah, what a lot of you would call nutritionists. So we both practice clinical nutrition. I work in a hospital in Spanish Harlem in New York City. And so I do general medicine for adults. I do pediatrics. I do a lot of diabetes, nutrition related counseling. So it's really nice. I do outpatient work. So in a hospital, there's usually inpatient unit, outpatient. For inpatient, it's more like when you get sick and you have to be hospitalized, and then you have dietitians that basically make sure you don't die while you are in the hospital.
Pretty much, yeah.
So outpatient is a little more refreshing because patients come at their own will, and they come to you because they want the tools to live a healthier life. So it's nice. I do counseling, with kids, families, adults, elders, all types of stuff.
We pretty much have the same job on different coasts. I do the exact same thing. I work in Oakland in a clinic there. It's a primary care clinic. And I cover the pediatric clinic, also adult medicine like Wendy. I cover specialty, which is people who may come, for ortho. They have a visit. They may need to lose weight. And I cover one more clinic. Which one is it? Oh, women's clinic. So usually that's pregnant women who may need a little bit, of guidance when it comes to nutrition and their diet. So like Wendy, I also counsel patients for the majority of the day. I love my patients. They're awesome. And I usually hopefully see them over time. I have patients I've been working with since I first started my job, always getting new patients every day. And then I teach classes as well. So I teach a diabetes prevention class. I have a weight management support group, and I teach a class with one of the pediatricians, which is called Eat Smart Healthy Start. And it's a group that we do. Yeah, it's been getting really popular. So we started with once a week, and we keep building it. Now one week out of the month, and now it's gonna be kind of more once a week or 3 weeks out of the month. And we do healthy recipes. We do physical activity. It's super fun. So that's pretty much what we do in our day jobs. And so we work kind of really closely with people. And from that work, we kind of see what works well for making changes, what doesn't really work, what it really takes to, improve your diet, improve your lifestyle. So we just want to share all of this information with you guys in the form of this podcast.
For sure. And we should probably talk a little bit about how we met. So we met through a mutual friend, I think in 2009, right?
I believe so.
Shout outs to Miley.
Check your email, girl. I emailed you today.
She lives in Amsterdam with her beautiful family. They moved out there. So we met through her, and we kind of fell in love very quickly.
Wait, but let me just say one thing. So I remember when we were first becoming friends, and I had a birthday party on the beach for my 27th birthday. And everybody went around and said something nice about me, which was really sweet. And Wendy was like, well, when I first met you, I thought you were stank.
No.
You did.
Okay.
You said, I thought you were stank. And she's like, but everybody loved you. So I was like, I guess I gotta love Jess too. And now I really know you and you're great. I was like, okay, I'm not stank at all. I'm so not stank.
I
thought that was funny.
That. Okay.
I remember
definitely don't remember that. But I love Jess.
Yay! Yeah, we're BFFs now.
Yeah, so we met through a mutual friend, and Jess was already kind of going down the academic route in nutrition, and I hadn't started just yet. I had an interest in nutrition, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that, and so she kind of gave me some guidance, and we eventually started working together at farmers markets throughout New York City. We worked at this great market in the Bronx, and we just really enjoyed working together, and we used to do nutrition demos and cooking demos for communities that didn't have a lot of resources for healthy eating. So we would teach them how to eat on a budget. We would do a lot of culturally relevant recipes, which in the community that we taught in was like Latin American, I would say like Puerto Rican, Mexican, some African American, Dominican. So it was dope because we were like, you can incorporate the foods that are traditionally part of your culture in a healthy way. So then the season ended, the market season ended, and we were like, oh my God, we love this so much. How can we keep this going and reach a larger platform?
And so that's when we decided to do a, healthy cooking and nutrition show. It actually started out on BCAT, which is Brooklyn Community Access Television. I think it's still playing on BCAT because even now that I live in California, they still send me emails and letters every year saying the show's been renewed. So they must be playing like throwback episodes. But we started on BCAT. We transitioned into a web series because people would hit us up and say they don't have a TV, they don't have cable, they don't live in Brooklyn, and so we kind of wanted to make it, for a larger audience. So that's
and we used to do Vimeo, right?
Oh yeah, we did start on Vimeo. Yeah.
And then I think folks hit us up like, you should probably do YouTube because you'll get more exposure that way.
Yeah.
And so then we took all our videos off of Vimeo and to YouTube. So for our YouTube channel, the date for the first video is not accurate because we've been doing it for quite some time. Yeah, but we had to like transfer our videos a couple of times.
Yeah, and then one funny story, when we were filming our very first episode, we spent so much time. I think we had Wendy's friend, was it Leonard, help us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Leonard. Hey, and we filmed all day because in those days we didn't have any camera. We had to get the equipment from BCAT. So you go get the equipment. They have everything. It's super heavy. You lug it all the way to your house. We filmed the whole thing, and then we go to edit it, and we noticed that we never turned the mic on. So we had like probably 5, 6, 7 hours of footage. I don't even know. And we had no audio. And we were super devastated because Wendy lived in the Bronx. She had to come all the way down there. We spent so much prep time. But I think it was a pivotal moment for us because we realized that we could have just been like over it because it was frustrating. But we decided to do it all over again, dust ourselves off, and try again.
Try again.
And it was great. And so the rest is on YouTube. And now, actually, it's going to be on this podcast. So stay tuned for the next segment. We'll just edit that out. Now we wanted to talk about, as dietitians, what we eat in a typical day, and then also some of our tips for making healthy eating a little bit easier. So I know some of you may have seen an article I did, I think it was in June, for BuzzFeed. It was called "What a Registered Dietitian Eats in a Typical Day." I don't know if it went viral. I think it kind of went viral.
Did,
I mean, it had over like a million plus hits.
It was crazy.
It was kind of crazy. Some of the comments were a little intense, and but some were great. Thank you guys.
Most were great.
Most were great. Yeah. Thank you guys for leaving positive feedback, and realizing that everybody, has the freedom to eat whatever they want.
There's a lot of food Nazis out there.
I was just like, okay.
It's like, what the frick?
Yeah, fall back.
Calm down, everyone.
So, from that article, you can kind of see what I eat. It's pretty basic. It's very simple. I start every day, for the most part, with a green smoothie. We have our green smoothie recipe on our website. It's the same one that I eat. I'll put the link in the comments, but it's pretty much just almond milk, spinach, chia seeds, cinnamon, sometimes a little bit of turmeric for inflammation, nutmeg, what else? Greek yogurt, fruit. That's pretty much it. So that's like my breakfast. It's so good to me, and it keeps me feeling full for a couple hours. In the article, I mentioned that I'm a big snacker. So every day I have to bring at least like 2 to 3 snacks with me to work to help me get from meal A to meal B. So usually that will be maybe Greek yogurt with some fruit. Recently I've been doing the frozen berry cherry, something like that. From Trader Joe's. And I don't know what it's called, but it's berry cherry in there. And it's so good. And I'll just like put it in some Tupperware, frozen, and then by the time I eat it, it's kind of melted and it looks kind of like some strawberry ice cream situation going on. And then I'll add a little bit of slivered almonds, roasted, so good, plus a little granola. Anyway, that's a special treat. I have that every day. And then, other snacks will be maybe some graham crackers and peanut butter, maybe apple peanut butter. What else do I eat? I don't know. Oh, maybe some popcorn, maybe some veggie chips. And for lunch, it's always something super basic. Recently, I've been having a whole wheat English muffin with 2 eggs on top with maybe a little bit of avocado cream or something like that. For dinner, again, I'll just heat up some veggies. I've been doing the frozen rice from Trader Joe's or the frozen quinoa. Just heat that up. It's already cooked, very simple. And then add some veggies, add some beans, whatever. So that's what I eat. What do you eat?
All right, so let's see. I keep it pretty simple for the most part. So one thing a lot of people don't know about me is that I actually eat a lot. I have a very fast metabolism. I'm always hungry. So my portions are pretty big. And like when my coworkers walk in on me, they're like, what the? They're just like, how could you eat so much? And yeah, it's just always been that way. So I need a lot of food. So for breakfast, I would say 5 days out of the week, I'll do a green smoothie. Kind of like with similar components to Jess, like with a protein, vegetables, fruit, etc. Some boosters like flaxseed or chia or whatever. I'll have about 16 ounces of that, and I'll alternate either between cereal with almond milk, like some kind of multigrain cereal, or I'll have a toast, like an egg sandwich. I'll do an egg sandwich with one slice of cheese, one slice of toast, and like an egg. And I'll have that with my green smoothie. That's my breakfast. So for lunch, I usually make a big stock pot of something for the week, whether it's like beans or some kind of protein stew or whatever. So I'll make that like on Sunday, and I'll just take it for the week, and I'll eat it with the grain, like quinoa or brown rice or something like that. Or I'll just make like pasta with vegetables. And then dinner is always like super quick, because when I get home from work, I'm like tired. I just want to eat within like 15 minutes of being home. So I usually do like some kind of sandwich, and a lot of times my go-to is like some kind of vegetable grilled cheese sandwich, or I'll do quesadillas, which I just throw on the grill, like 3 to 4 tortillas with like cheese, vegetables, and like guacamole or something. And then that'll be my dinner. And then I drink water. That's pretty much what I drink. No juice, no soda. My mom is visiting from the Dominican Republic right now, and so she's been like preparing all these herbal teas for me every day. So I'll drink that as well. Hey, mama. So right now she's like stuck on this like ginger craze. Yeah.
Que rico.
She's been making like ginger tea for me every single day with like different medicinal herbs or whatever.
Yum.
She's like a witch on the low. And then I snack usually on dark chocolate, because like when my energy is low and I need that boost, I'll have like an ounce of dark chocolate from Trader Joe's, or I'll just have some fruit. So that's it. That's what I eat. So
good.
yeah, that's like an overview. It varies, you know. On weekends, it's usually different. That's like during the week.
Same here.
Yeah, so now that you guys have kind of like a general idea of what it is that we eat throughout the day, I think we should transition into like just tips and tricks for making healthy eating a little easier, because I know it can seem a little overwhelming. And it doesn't have to be. So you want to go first, Jess?
Yeah, so I have 3 tips that I think are super simple, but really help, and research shows that these things are good for, you know, overall health. So number 1 is starting with a healthy breakfast. I would say 90%, maybe 80% of my patients don't eat breakfast in the morning. And they tend to overeat a little bit for lunch and dinner. So I think the number 1 thing breakfast does is it gets you, you know, the day started right. It gets you feeling great. It moves those bowels too, so that you don't, you know, get any kind of problems with constipation. And it just helps you have more energy. So I would say eat breakfast within 1 hour of waking up in the morning. That's what I usually tell people. And make sure it's pretty balanced. So sometimes my patients say, well, I eat breakfast, but I just have coffee with sugar and pan dulce. And I'm like...
My patients are the same. Like my Mexican patients. Yeah. They're like, pan dulce, pan dulce.
That's it. Which would be like, what would that be? Like a donut or something?
It's like, I think it's even worse because it has so much flour. It's like a huge ass bread.
Yeah.
With like sugar.
Right. So that's not what that's not really ideal, because what that's going to do is you're going to have a little spike in energy, and then you're going to have a total crash. I try to tell people to think of things that are, you know, doing more good for your body, because there are some foods where it's like it may be your favorite treat, but it's not really doing much. And so breakfast is one of those meals where you need it to do something for you. So try to have a healthy protein, whether it be eggs, whether it be, if you do a smoothie, you could put like some hemp protein powder. Peanut butter is a good protein. One thing that I'll do if, I want something a little more warm in the morning, is I'll do oatmeal or steel cut oats, and I'll put a tablespoon of peanut butter or almond butter in there, the crunchy kind, and then I'll put maybe like a cup of fruit or half a banana for kind of some sweetness, and a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, and that's super quick, and it tastes really delicious, and that keeps you full and makes you feel good in the morning. So number 1 is healthy breakfast. Number 2 is rethink your beverages. I would say it's pretty difficult to reach your nutrition goals if you're, drinking a lot of extra beverages like soda, juice, energy drinks. All those things are just empty calories. They're not doing anything for you whatsoever. Even if you work out, you probably don't need to drink an energy drink. You can probably have water and a banana or something like that and get the same effect, or half a banana. So try to focus more on water-based beverages, whether that be actual water, or water, they're all water-based, but like water-based without added sugar. So water, tea, but not I'm not going to name any brands, but not like that tall can of like cold tea that's green. That's not healthy. Because patients are always like, what about that one? I'm like,
And also, when Jess talks about juices, we are also including 100% fruit juice in this. So things like orange juice, apple juice, even though they don't have added sugar, they just naturally contain a lot of concentrated sugar in them because, some of them are made from like concentrated juice, but then, imagine how much oranges, like outside my hospital, they're the Mexican ladies that sell like fresh squeezed orange juice, and my patients like swear by them, and they come in and they're like, oh my god, I got my fresh squeezed oranges and it's so healthy, and I tell them, imagine how much sugar, how many oranges it takes just to make that like 16-ounce cup of juice, and like one orange already contains a good amount of sugar, so it's probably took like 4 to 5, which is a lot. So we're talking about all juices.
So I would say, do your water, do your fruit infused water, meaning you cut up a couple slices of orange, of strawberry, or whatever it is, and you put it in the water. That's something that's good. You can also we have some recipes on our site, so we'll put the link here too. We have a mocha freeze drink, it's pretty much just almond milk that's unsweetened, which means it doesn't have any sugar in it, which is great. It's only 30 calories. It has unsweetened cocoa powder, which again doesn't have any sugar, and it's only 20 calories per tablespoon. And we'll give you the recipe, but just try to be creative with things that may taste kind of like what you like or taste refreshing and great, but don't have all that sugar in it. And just a really quick point, the reason why we say juice isn't that great is because what Wendy said. It has so much not added sugar, but it has so much sugar that's unnecessary, and it's always better to eat the fruit, not drink the fruit, because when you eat the fruit, it comes with all of the fiber, and fiber is what slows the release of the sugar into your bloodstream. We don't want the juice going straight into our blood and spiking our blood sugar levels. We want it to kind of stay even and steady over time. That's how you have a good amount of energy throughout the day. So just keep that in mind. It's better to eat the fruit than drink the fruit. Now, my next tip for healthy eating is something I try to do every day, and it's like, I named it the 5 rule. I don't know if that's any real name, but what it is trying to get 3 vegetables and 2 fruits in your diet every single day. And it just makes it easier for me to think about it like that. I don't know what it is about the 5 rule, but whether they're snacks, whether you make it half your plate, however you get these foods in, just try to get them in. And studies show as long as you can get about this amount of fruits and vegetables, you're going to, have a healthier, more plant-based diet that's going to prevent you, help to prevent you from getting a lot of these chronic diseases. So those are my 3 go-to tricks. And what about you, Wendy?
So just to piggyback off of Jess's last point, when she says 3 vegetables, 2 fruits, she doesn't mean like 3 different kinds of vegetables, 2 different kinds of fruits. We're talking about servings. So 3 servings would be about 3 cups. If it's like cooked vegetables, it would be like half a cup. So it would be like 3 cups of vegetables, 2 cups of fruit. A lot of times you're not, you don't have your cup out measuring fruits and vegetables. So 1 serving of fruit is like an apple, medium-sized pear, medium-sized orange, about a handful of strawberries, grapes, right? So that would be like 1 serving. So you would want to have 2 of those of fruit. For vegetables, you can measure it, I would say, like with your fist, right? So like maybe like if you look at the size of your fist, that's about 1 serving of vegetables. So you want to have 3 of those per day at the very least.
Yes.
All right. So now for my 3 tips for healthy eating, simplifying it a little bit. So number 1 is meal planning. This is I can't even stress
everything.
Yeah. Can't even stress how important it is. It's something we live by. We've done a video on meal planning. It's so important to pick even just like a couple of hours out of your week just to dedicate to figuring out what you're going to be eating throughout the week, especially if you work or you go to school, which is most of us.
Yes.
You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're just buying stuff out every day because you didn't bring your lunch, or you didn't bring your dinner, you didn't bring your breakfast, or whatever. So it's really important to take some time, figure out what you got in your pantry, go shopping, figure out what you need to buy to make your meals for the week.
One other quick thing. So in my weight management class last week, I think the therapist said that failure to plan is a plan to fail. And this is so true when it comes to food and healthy eating. So you have to plan, because anybody who doesn't have a plan and is hungry, we would all kind of make that, potentially bad decision, because you're at that point, you're starving, you don't have any food around, so you're going to go out to eat. So just think of it as kind of, you need to prevent those things from happening by having that plan in place.
Right.
Go ahead.
And especially if you live in the hood, which I kind of do. And, or actually I work in the hood. So it's like there's not the healthiest options around, and if I bring my lunch every day to work. I mean, it must really be a bad day. Like something must have happened for me not to bring my lunch to work. And when I don't, I'm just like going through it because there's really nothing for me to eat. There's like the hot dog truck, there's just like not a lot. McDonald's.
Yeah, we got McDonald's too.
Yeah, I'm just
in
like,
our complex.
I have to bring my lunch. So number 2 is keeping it simple. Keep it cute. Keep it simple. That's like our motto.
Yes, it is.
Skip all the like crazy recipes that call for like 3 million ingredients that you have to get in Whole Foods or whatever. Like just keep it cute. Get fresh vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, whatever, and just like play around in the kitchen. Olive oil, vinegar. It doesn't have to be like all these crazy sauces, and we have tons of recipes on our website that are very simple.
And anything that we post, anything that I post too, it is going to be the basicest of the basic recipe, because
Jess is like the queen of basics. I keep it a little more sophisticated with my recipes. I'm
like the most basic girl out there when it comes to cooking. So you could trust that if you don't want to be spending hours in the kitchen and you just want something quick, simple, easy, bam, 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 you can find it on our website.
Shout out to all the basics out there.
Chirp, chirp.
All right. So then my 3rd tip is going to be learn the science of storing. So this is That's overlooked a lot. Storing is so important. A common frustration that I see amongst people is that, they buy all this like healthy food and then it all goes bad. It's happened to me before as well. It's really important to learn how to store different kinds of foods so that you don't have to make, regular supermarket runs to buy food. It saves you a lot of time. So like, let's say for breads, you can freeze bread, right? When you go to the supermarket or whatever, you buy your whole grain bread. Usually at Trader Joe's, I buy mine. I'll freeze half and I'll leave the other half in the fridge, and you can just like thaw it overnight and it'll be so fresh the next day. So that's just an example. You can like cook your veggies and freeze them. You can just freeze your fruit, especially berries. I freeze all my berries because they go bad within like a couple of days. So just look some stuff up online. There's tons of articles on how to freeze practically any and everything. That's so important, and it saves you so much money, which we love.
Wasting food sucks. So if you can figure out how to store it and keep it fresh for as long as possible. You're gonna, save money. The food, also, if you store it right, the nutrients are gonna be, more rich, because if you're kind of not necessarily freezing things or kind of chopping them and leaving them out, the air molecules start to degrade some of those nutrients. So you want to make sure that you're storing properly too.
Yeah. All right. So those are our 6 total tips and tricks for easy, healthy living. I think we're gonna end it there, right?
Yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 1.
Ever episode. We're so excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, we thought we'd keep it simple for the first one. Just give you guys kind of like an overview intro into who we are, what we're about, how we live.
Right. If you have any friends who may benefit from this episode, why don't you just go ahead and share it with them? Spread the food heaven love.
Yes.
And thank you guys so much for listening.
Oh, and send us any questions
Yes.
or topics that you want us to address. The email is going to be podcast@foodheavenmadeeasy.com. Yep.
All right, guys. See ya or hear ya next time. Bye.